Hey, what's up, you guys? It's IAmTheLionRider, and after a painstaking last week of waiting since the last update, I was on vacation last week, so I apologize I didn't get the update 1.7 feature focus out, but today we finally, after many days of waiting, finally got the confirmation that 1.7 is indeed coming. It is coming on October 4th, which is pretty interesting, and let's just jump into it. So we have the basically update notes with all of the free features, and I must say Frontier messed up big time here, because if I were to refresh this page right now, something would change about it. What happened is, as you can see here in these images, they basically leaked their own pack. Now it's only a day early, so it's not a big deal, but basically, as you can see here in the images, it says Planet Zoo North America Animal Pack. So I was wrong, it is an animal pack, which is very surprising for a few reasons, but I'm probably going to cover that in like a new video. I want to still wait a day until we see the trailer to see if that is actually true and it's truly just an animal pack or something else. But yeah, we have a lot of new things to cover. So basically, like I said, they kind of jumped the gun and accidentally revealed it is an animal pack early. If I were to refresh this page, they changed the images so it doesn't say that anymore. But yeah, let's get started. So the first thing that I didn't cover in my, last week when it was announced was the new height map update, which is coming to Planet Zoo. And that's basically going to allow you to basically just get a height map or bump map or whatever you want to call it, and basically just upload it to the game, and it would be basically make a custom terrain with a stamp of different elevation levels. So for most people, I think it's going to be pretty useless. I don't think many people are going to use it. For people like me or Goron or Crocs or something who do recreations, it's really good because you can just get the accurate height map of data from, Google Maps or something, or Bing Maps, whatever you want to do. And you would have accurate elevation levels for your entire zoo. Similarly, it could just be good for just randomization. So like if you want just random maps, that's very, very useful. So that's all very exciting news. But what I actually like is they actually have a bunch of new terrain updates. So I mentioned this in my video. We have a bunch of terrain update features with this pack. So one of the things they're going to basically be adding is a bunch of new preset terrain maps so that you don't just have to do a dedicated, flat, boring Planet Zoo map. Now you can do different mountain options or different things. One of the maps they mentioned is going to be a preset, is going to be Uluru, which is going to be a type of Australian map. And then other ones, basically they also say that all of the scenario zoos are going to now be in Sandbox from the get-go. So all of those like cool backdrops and stuff that people were like always kind of like playing the campaign, deleting everything, and now going back into the game are now just going to be features in the actual thing. So you're going to get all 9 time scenarios and 14 scenario maps. So that's 23 new terrain maps, 30 new terrain paints. That's all very exciting. That's going to be basically just an easier way of getting access to those cool maps. And some of them are really awesome. Like, obviously, some of them are like lakeside view. I love the Greece one that's near the ocean. The India one is really cool. Obviously, everyone really loves that last one, which is in the city. So those are all going to be really, really cool terrain options. So very excited about that. Another thing that I mentioned in my video that was a prediction was diving big cats, and I was right. So jaguars, Bengal tigers, and Siberian tigers are all going to be able to deep dive now, so that's very exciting. We knew about the jaguar from the in-game files. It's been able to dive since Aquatics came out, but now we officially have confirmation that they are officially going to be able to deep dive, so that is very, very exciting. But the thing that, I like how the big announcements they bury, but one of the big things they mentioned is they're changing the minimum depth requirement for some animals to be only 2 meters. So that is very exciting, because I know a lot of people were getting upset with stuff like the otters or something. It was very difficult to make habitats with deep diving for them due to the really, really large requirements for deep diving. So that's really exciting. And it also explains, because they mentioned here that even the juvenile, like tigers and jaguars, are going to be able to deep dive. That makes a lot of sense that they would try to basically change the minimum requirement for the size. So very exciting news there. I am very excited about the deep diving changes. So next up, so this is a thing that I think is pretty... It's pretty damning that we're getting sea lions at this point, and that comes down to the animal talk seating. So basically, it's a glorified bench, but essentially what this is it's a type of seating that would be really good for keeper talks, and specifically I'm thinking keeper talks for select animals, notably sea lions, since sea lion shows are very, very popular in zoos and aquariums. And the other thing that I could see this for future-proof wise are birds. I think bird talk shows like parrot shows and stuff, probably good for the future. So I think this is a future-proofing update, but it's going to be used mostly for stuff like sea lions and stuff in the short term. And since we know it's an animal pack, I think sea lion is absolutely confirmed at this point. A lot of people were wondering, like, I don't know if it was going to be like a case where maybe sea lion wouldn't be one of the iconic animals because of whatever. This basically confirms it. Animal pack, this, I mean, even if they didn't post this, the October 4th, like, timeline kind of gives you a good indication. That's over, like, a week and a half from now. So, another thing that's really interesting, it says it's coming October 4th, which would be a first for this game, because that means it's actually coming out on a Monday, which is very bizarre. So a Monday is interesting because that's very, very rare in general on the in the Planet Zoo / game industry. Basically, that's not really a thing, but we are getting a Monday update, so that's actually a huge thing. The next thing is path barriers. So along with the seating areas, you're going to add path barriers, so you can basically make it so that paths aren't able to you know, always be used in a certain way. So that's always exciting. But the big thing, I think, again, they keep burying this stuff. They're adding curbs and stuff as a feature, which is awesome. So I am very excited about that. So that'll be cool. And this is a sleeper one. They kind of bury it again, but this is my favorite update. They call it the scenery placement randomization. It's a tumbler. Basically, all it is it's going to allow you to select a rock, and then you toggle this feature on, and then every time you place it, the rock will be in a different X, Y, and Z rotation. And that is awesome, because I feel like a lot of the reason most people's builds in Planet Zoo, especially rock work, looks kind of samey is because a lot of us are lazy and we don't want to actually put in the time and effort, because it takes a while to go into advanced move and actually kind of tumble the rock significantly, where you flip it upside down and place it that way. However, using this option, it's going to be so much easier to do that. So I am so excited. So yeah, I know this is a game changer for foliage and rock heavy builds. 100% I'm on board with it. This is probably my favorite feature. Similarly, I think, I have a feeling this is how it might work. I think there's going to be a toggle for X, Y, and Z, so that stuff like trees, you would just want to have the random rotation be, you know, in the X-axis. You wouldn't want them to be obviously flipped upside down like you might with rocks. So that is very exciting. It's very similar to like Prehistoric Kingdom, but hopefully a bit more advanced where you could actually tumble it completely. So finally, the last thing that is exciting but not really that important. They basically just updated some of the UI with the Zoopedia page. So Animal Management now has a Zoopedia link button, which has a list of animals. Animal Management and Animal Market buttons have been added. Habitat space requirements have been added to the Zoopedia, and they added a biome filter. So the only thing that I'm a bit confused about is they say they added a biome filter to sort by biome in your Zoopedia, so you would be able to be like, I want only desert animals, or I only want grassland animals. But they didn't think to do it with the continents, which is odd, because I know a lot of people wanted, I want to figure out all the animals that are from Africa. I want to find all the animals from South America easily. But, so I think it's just odd they did the biome one, but didn't do the animal one. So I feel like in the future, they'll probably add that. So, then the last thing they said, they added a quick trade for the animal management screen, so that's cool. So that's definitely just useful, because that'll help us basically just quickly do it without needing to actually go into the menus. So all of these, very awesome. So obviously it's going to have bug fixes and tweaks and whatever. And that's exciting. Now, I guess the big thing that we will be talking about, of course, is what this means for modding / everything of that nature. From what I can tell, I think, unfortunately, mods are definitely breaking at this point. And here is my logic for why I think each one is going to break. Number one, I think the, I'll add an asterisk. It might not break prop mods, but I have a feeling it might because of one of the features they added. So, for the fact that it's an animal pack mod, and they added new entries for the big cats being able to dive, it's very possible they added a new FDB entry, which would mean that animal mods might have to be updated. Similarly, this scenery placement randomizer, if it's done dynamically where like it just affects all objects in the game regardless, it should be fine. But unfortunately, I have a feeling it might be a new Lua or FDB entry as well for scenery, which would mean a new table, which means scenery props also may need to be updated. So, just a heads up, that is totally possible. So I want to make sure, you know, back up your save files, delete any mods, or make a backup with no mods in your maps, just to preserve them. Animal maps will obviously be fine, but for prop mods, just be on the safe side. Group all of your prop mods, and then make a map without any prop mods in, just to be safe. So, with that being said, I mean, they're actually going to... This is a huge news update. I should say that, because we're also getting a JWE2 dev diary later today. And they're also going to be live streaming at, I think that's 2 p.m. Eastern. So, a lot of things to talk about today. So, get excited. This is awesome. This is definitely a lot of cool features, and Animal Pack lovers, be very excited, because I would say, you know... Some of those animals that we were a bit iffy on, like moose or something, yeah, I think they're probably pretty likely at this point. So, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.